Hello and welcome to another episode of us exploring the Celestial Nirvana palette from Mother Pad. I have already done a couple of looks. I have like a whole playlist and series with looks that I've done with this palette. There is always a link to that playlist in the end of my videos. So for today's look I am actually going to be trying out something a little bit more neutral, in which I try to incorporate one of these mattes, in particular the blue matte shade, as a liner. I'm just trying to show you all the different possibilities and what you can do with these colorful shades, because I think this is really the true strength of this palette, the matte colorful eyeshadows. Also, I apologize if I'm sitting in a little bit of a strange angle, but I'm trying to keep my leg up and I will tell you in a little bit what happened while I'm doing my makeup. But let me just quickly tell you what I'm going to do in terms of my eye look, so that I can just zoom you in and we can get started on application of the eyeshadows, because it's actually going to be relatively simple for the lid shades. I'm going to apply this one in my crease, this one in my outer corners, this one on the lid again. This was a look that I sort of did in the very first video where I demoed the palette, but I haven't actually worn this as like a full-on look for a whole day, so I'm actually curious how this is going to look like. And then I'm going to apply, I think, this one just in my inner corner, this one as a liner, and I want to play around with this one as a little bit of like a detail here on the lower lashes, and just complete the look with the two brown mattes. I'm going to start applying the matte shade through the crease, by the way. So after my last video, the previous look that I did with this palette, I was like in a super good mood. I was feeling myself because I really enjoyed how the look turned out. And then I met up with one of my friends from work, and we were going to bike to work together. Everything went well, and almost at the like final stage of our bike trip, I go to work by bike because that's how you transport yourself most of the time in the Netherlands, by bike. We were just about to cross the final big street before arriving at the hospital where we work, and we had to cross like a street where the traffic comes from the like left side, and I'm talking traffic in terms of cars but also in terms of bikes. So whenever I come out of the street where I come by bike, I always have to check left for both bikes and cars. And of course, if there are any of the two, I wait a little bit. So as the two of us were biking, as usual, I just, I looked left. I saw a bunch of bikers, but they were relatively, far away, or they were going to turn right before coming our way. So it all looked clear. And then my friend shouted out, "Watch out." And then I instinctively still turned to the left because I thought I missed someone. I'm taking the dark brown shade to apply it through the outer corner and crease. Just a little bit here to deepen up the look. And then as I turned left and I didn't see anyone, for a second my brain was like, oh crap, I think I looked in the wrong direction, because it turned out there was another biker coming from the right. And he probably was also like distracted, or didn't think that there would be someone coming, from our direction, and he was only paying attention to the people coming from like the opposite direction of him, because he didn't see us on time. And then he tried to like take like a little curve around us, but unfortunately he was not fast enough, and my brain didn't respond fast enough either, so I sort of crashed into him. And I was wearing relatively high heels, so then I tried to stop. My right foot went like this, and then I fell. The bike fell on top of me. Quite a shock. And he immediately stopped. He tried to help me. He asked how I was doing. I was a little bit in shock at first, so I was a little bit like shaky and like trying to figure out whether I'm okay or something is broken and I need to scream from the pain. But honestly, besides the fact that my right foot was a little bit sore because it went like this, I was like, I think I feel relatively okay. And luckily my friend was with me, so I got up, like they helped me up, and I figured I could probably like make the walk to the hospital where we work, by the way, not for a checkup or anything, just to make the walk, and then see how it goes from there. And I actually sent him away. I was like, you can't really help me with anything more. My bike doesn't seem to have suffered any damage that you need to, pay for, so just go. So then I stood up and then I walked for a bit, and I could really feel that my right foot cannot really handle a lot of... It feels a bit shaky, let's put it that way, and a bit unstable. And I'm taking the Intensify stick now, by the way, from Pat McGrath to apply all over my lid so that we can whack on that beautiful metallic shade. But I could feel that I'm pretty unstable, and you know, I delusionally thought that I can somehow go to work and make it through the day, but as we were walking I was starting to think, you know, I'm in a little bit of pain, and I also feel like I probably won't be able to walk on this foot on high heels. So then we decided that I'm just going to, you know, sit on a bench while she deals with my bike. I'm going to grab a flat shader brush now and go into the metallic neutral shade and apply that here on my lid so that she can park my bike, because obviously we needed to deal with my bike. There was no way in hell that I was going to bike home that day. So she went to park her bike, then she came back, she took my bike to park that as well. And while she was gone, I called my husband, because I was like, there's no way I can survive today on high heels. At the very least, I'll have to go home and maybe like change into sneakers or something. But as I was calling with him, I also felt incredibly sick, because I think from like the adrenaline and the shock and the, you know, rush of stuff that was happening in my body, I broke into cold sweats and I felt really, really nauseated. And he immediately said to just wait for him there. So he came to pick me up by car. I went home. And yeah, that's a little bit the story of how I sprained my ankle. So now I think I have like a lateral ankle sprain. It's not really my ankle, but like it's on the side. And I don't think it's too bad. I haven't really been to the doctor. I only spoke to my father-in-law, he's a GP, and yesterday my mom-in-law was here and she's a doctor as well, and neither of them seemed to think that anything is like really seriously damaged there. There's a tiny bit of swelling and it's starting to look all sorts of colors, and I can like step on it and walk on it. It's just that I'm very slow and I'm limping, so there's that. I'm taking that shimmery champagne shade to put in my inner corners now. So I've been basically at home for the past 2 days, because the first like 24 to 48 hours you need to take it chill and not like overdo it. So I've been trying to just keep it up, apply ice packs, but like still not completely immobilize it, because it will also get really stiff and really painful to walk on. I notice that in the mornings when I get up that it's a bit more difficult to walk than throughout the day. So today I'm going to attempt to go to work and just stay there and like try to keep my leg up whenever possible. Yeah, I probably sound a little bit more down and more tired, but that's because I haven't really slept the best the past 2 nights like the first night. Let me take a short interruption here just to tell you, I'm going to take this little angled brush and I'm going to now dip into this matte blue shade, and I'm going to start applying that as a liner here, and let's see how that goes. I'm very curious. Oh, by the way, I'm just realizing the lilac metallic shade would have actually made a beautiful inner corner highlight, but I don't want to like overdo the colors. I want to keep it a bit more balanced with just that pop of blue. So, you know, you can do that, or you can whack on the purple in the inner corners. It would look really beautiful that way. So yeah, that's basically what's going on. Yeah, I was saying that during the first night I did actually wake up in a lot of pain, and I had to take a good amount of ibuprofen to be able to make it through the night. And afterwards my friends from work said that it's probably because I was not keeping my leg up, and like there was blood flow, and you know, that caused a bit of inflammation and pain. So last night I did have a pillow under my foot and I didn't have any pain, so that was good. But you know, overall it's still not a walk in the park. I don't know how long it will be before I can do a walk in the park, and I'm also really annoyed that it will probably take quite a good amount of time before I can bike, because also the problem is that I hurt my right foot, and that is usually the foot with which I stop, or like I put it down when I'm pausing at a traffic light or something. And I think it will be a while before I can really properly bike and confidently bike. So that really sucks balls. I really like this blue, you guys. It's so deep and it's so rich and it's such a beautiful tone, and it's actually working out beautifully as an eyeliner here. Alright, I think I'm actually going to leave it at that. I don't want to fuck around with the wings too much, because I've done all the rest of my makeup and it's really hard to fix your wings if you've already done the rest of your makeup. So now I'm just going to take this beautiful blue metallic here, and I'm going to apply a tiny bit of that right here in the inner portion of the lower lash line, just as like a little accent. And that's really pretty. And finally, just super easy, you know, low-key, I'm going into the lighter taupe shade, applying a little bit of that here, just to smoke out the lower lashes, and then going back into that deeper brown shade and applying that here at the like outer edge and just close to the lashes, without really making it too dark. Okay, you guys, so this is it for today's look, just playing around a little bit with color placement. I think that's the fun thing that you can do with this palette. You can play around with where you're going to use your colorful eyeshadows. You can put them pretty much all over your lid and then put a metallic over top of that. You can put them on your lower lash line as little accents of color, which is what I've been doing a lot in the past couple of looks that I've showed you. Or you can play around and put them as your colorful accent eyeliner, which is also really fun, and I think it would also look really, like this look would also look really pretty with a green liner. I was just feeling the blue today. So I actually quite enjoy how this look turned out as well. I hope you did too. Sorry for the little bit of a bummer story, but you know what, all in all it could have been much worse than this. I've been living here for over 16 years and this is the first like more serious biking accident that I have had. So overall I can count myself lucky, because it could have been much worse. I could have really broken something and have to be in a cast and shit. So, you know, I got away with it relatively easily. It's still inconvenient and a nuisance, but it will be fine. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look. Let me know what you thought about it, and I will see you for the next one. Bye!